you're going out, you're showing homes.
Yes.
So it does tire you sometimes, and
Yes.
it's okay to keep a balance, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Your clients too, right?
That's
if
true.
I'm not balanced, I'm not doing a very good
That's
job
true.
with them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's important too, not just balance for me, but balance for
For
my
providing
career to provide the best service
Best
possible.
service. Okay.
Hi everyone, welcome. Today we're going to discuss a topic, real estate, which touches us all in different ways, whether we are buying, we are selling, or we are just investing. And this is a topic that we're going to have some great conversations. We have Gina Piper here today, and she's an expert in this topic, and she's going to talk about many things here. So first of all, Gina, welcome.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me.
Thank you. So great to have you today.
Thank you.
And I've known you as a family friend,
Yes.
if I can say that. And it's I've known that you've done really good in real estate, and you've been in this for a long, long time. Can you tell me something about your background and your journey into this?
Sure, absolutely. I born and raised in Pleasanton, so grew up here, went to all the schools, graduated from Foothill High School, and then went off to Cal Poly to get my Bachelor of Science degree. And my degree is actually in clinical science, nutritional science. So sort of interesting and very different from where I'm at today. Although I still very much have a passion for nutrition and health and alternative health and that sort of thing. So, and I study Ayurveda. I've spent some time in India, so I really still love that field. But my last year of college, my options were to go on to med school or to basically be a dietitian in a hospital, which sounded really awful to me. And so my mother had been in real estate, and she was a single mom and did just a wonderful job for her whole career in real estate. Even though I didn't really pay much attention because I never thought I would go into real estate. My last year of college, I decided, you know what, I think I'll go into real estate. So I graduated and immediately went into real estate, and I have not looked back. And it's now been 29 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Your mom must have been really happy when
you said
I don't think she was actually. I think she thinks I was crazy because I never showed really any interest. And real estate's very, very difficult, especially I would say for her as a single mother, trying to raise a family and being self-employed essentially,
Yes.
right? As a realtor, you're an independent contractor. In her case, you owned a company as well. And so I think that, those were difficult times, although she excelled and did a fabulous job,
Yes.
especially being a female also back then.
And this was many years
This was
ago,
many,
too.
many years ago,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. So in that case, I feel, I feel like she was quite surprised when I said that I wanted to go into real estate. And then, of course, in the long run, I think she was happy about it. So, yeah.
So 29 years,
yes,
right?
29 years. I can't believe it.
So, what are the? Tell me about your journey once you entered real estate.
Sure.
You got some. Was it easy to enter into this, or was it challenging, or was it like?
Yeah, I love answering this question because I was so young when I got in. And so my sphere of influence was certainly not buying homes. I wasn't buying homes. I didn't have money to buy a home. And so it wasn't like I could tap into people that I knew, my network, because they would be buying homes. So I really had to start at the very bottom and knock on doors and make phone calls and do what's called farming, which is really market to a very specific neighborhood that I chose in Pleasanton. So that's how I started. And I did a lot of training in real estate, and I usually would tell people my first 365 days of the year, I cried. Because I didn't get a single sale my first year. So I was really pushing hard. But again, I was very young. I didn't have a lot of confidence. I didn't own my own home. And so I felt like, who's going to trust me to represent them on their single largest investment when I am this young and I don't even own a home.
Especially for selling, right?
For selling, yes. Especially for selling. So it took time to get through that. And then I feel like once I got past that first year, things started to pop, and then from there it was nonstop. And about 10 years into it, I had burnout, and I decided I needed to make a pretty massive change, either to get out of the industry altogether or to shift how I was doing business. And at the time, actually, that was more like maybe 7 years in. And so at the time, I sold my 4-door car and bought a 2-door car and decided to only work with sellers and not buyers. And so that was sort of the shift that I made at the time to try to take care of me, as far as, balance and not being so burned out. And that was helpful, although I still did work with buyers, but very selective on the type of the buyers that I worked with. I was very selective on that. I focused more on sellers. And then about 10 years into my career, that's when I got burnout a little bit more and decided, I needed to make a shift again. And I moved to Maui. So I called, I called that my radical sabbatical. And I took some time off and really kind of went within, and I was working weekends and nights and early mornings, and that wasn't really, I was doing very well and I was very successful and I was getting awards, but it wasn't filling my cup. It wasn't fulfilling for me. I didn't have joy in my life, and I wanted to bring that in. So I took sort of a deep dive personally at that time, and really kind of focused on meditation and yoga and health and that sort of thing, so that when I came back to continue my career, that I had a different perspective and that I could do the business a little bit differently with some boundaries. And so that's so I did that. I actually commuted back and forth from Maui to here, and still did some business, but not nearly as much as I had been. And then when I came back for good,
so how many years were you there?
5 altogether. The first couple of years I was spending most of my time in Maui, and then by the end I had at that point met the love of my life, which I ended up marrying. And so that kept me closer to Pleasanton, and so I would be more in Pleasanton those last couple of years, and then finally was like full-time back here.
Full-time back here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So it does it's a lot of work, right? You're going out, you're showing homes.
Yes.
So it does tire you sometimes, and it's okay to keep a balance, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But for your clients too, right?
That's
if
true.
I'm not balanced, I'm not doing a very good job with them.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like that's important too, not just balance for me, but balance for my
providing
career to provide the best service possible.
Okay.
So when I was reading about you, Gina, I read that you got the Best Realtor Award for the last 9 years, right?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Oh, thank you.
So tell me about it. Like, what is it that you guys do differently? Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
I would say, I think just reputation. For me, for example, I don't do any marketing now, and I haven't for several years. I really go off of referral only and by reputation. So I think that's so important. So when you're in a transaction, it's more than 30 or 60 or 90 days with these clients. I fall in love with my clients. I really connect. And I want to connect. And that's why I'm very particular about who I work with, because I want to have that connection with clients. And so I think because I don't consider it so transactional and it's a one-time thing and then I don't talk to the clients anymore, I don't like that. And so I think because of that, that's helped with reputation. And I'm assuming maybe that's why I was voted Best Realtor, but I'm not sure.
So basically, treating them as family only, right? So staying connected and not just when they're buying or selling. even afterwards.
Yes.
And those, getting involved in what's happening. But that's a lot of work, actually, right?
Yes, we try to make it easy at our company by having events where people can come to. And so oftentimes at Elation, we will have these events where people can come. Maybe it's Santa Photo Day and they bring their kids or their grandkids. Or it's a ice cream social, or lots and lots of events all year round. So that also gives me a chance to have people come to the office, and I get face-to-face time. I'll write throughout the year personal notes to clients, or I'll pick up the phone and just say hello, how are you? Some have become very good friends, so we just are now in the same circles and spend time together. Some have become neighbors. But for the I think one of the tools that we use to stay connected is having events, so that people come to the office, and then I get to connect and see the kids. And now they're grown up and maybe they're having kids now.
That's
just like doing everything, like to stay connected, right?
Yes.
Phone call, events.
Yeah.
And then, just meeting them, or they becoming your friends now, right?
Yes.
So I would say that works for any business of this sort,
I think
right?
so. It should.
Like if you stay connected, I think, right?
If you stay connected, then you're not having to market yourself. You're not having to push people. Your reputation's already out there. Right now, that referral is coming organically.
Yes, that makes so perfect sense for even I would say any people-based business, right? Now, also, again, I was curious about your pillars of strength. You talked about bringing joy to the customers, or to your clients. Now, there must be stressful environments too, right? Especially at the time of when people are writing offers and stuff like that. How do you give them joy that time?
That part is the worst.
Yes, that's a tough one. I think it's situational, right? Sometimes in a market where people are writing, it's a multiple offer situation, and people are writing way over asking price, and they have almost no leverage as a buyer. The sellers are happy. It's easy to keep a seller happy in a situation like that. But for the buyers, it's just tough on them because they feel like they're giving everything and not receiving anything in return. So in that sense, it's easy to keep a seller happy, not so easy to keep a buyer happy. And so if there is a possibility where I can have a seller and a buyer meet, I think that's a wonderful idea because it humanizes the experience. It doesn't feel like it's the seller against the buyer. It now feels like a true person who is a good, kind person who wants to buy, and a true person who's a good, kind person that wants to sell. Now they know each other. And I feel like that humanizes it, and it can bring more joy to the transaction, because they're not just feeling like they're out to get me, or they're pushing me to do this, or they're really nickel and diming me. It takes that away. And so I think that's one idea to do that. And then also just listening to them. I mean, this is oftentimes people's single largest investment. So you couple their single largest investment in their life, the purchase of their primary residence, and then couple that with it being very emotional because it's their primary residence, right? It's their family home. They either raise their family in it and they're selling it now, or they're buying it to raise a family in, or to create those memories. So it's a very, very emotional experience, whereas other types of investments out there, stock market, all that kind of thing, scary, right? It's a challenge. It's challenging, but it's not the emotion piece of it. And so, to just listen and honor that piece and try to remember what it was like when I would buy and sell. And I don't stay in a home very long personally. And I think that's important for a realtor. Not necessarily to not stay in a home for very long, but to buy and sell so that we can remind ourselves how truly emotional the process is.
That's true.
In the past, when I've tried to buy a home, I've been beat out before. And I've cried my eyes out. And so I know what it's like, you know, and that's happened, that's happened a couple of times for me. So
especially, how women are, we like the kitchen now.
Yes.
We want this kitchen.
Yes.
And we want that little bonus room.
Absolutely.
That's cozy and everything.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
I remember when we were looking for homes, it's like, okay, we need to see backyard, It's like every time we just go out.
Yes.
It's like,
Yes.
So there are so many, everybody, we start loving the house, which we like. But again, if you take the emotion out of it, or maybe emotion in it, but
allow them,
Allow
to,
them.
to have the emotion and just have respect for that and understand that that's part of the transaction.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have
Yeah.
that emotion because it's going to be
Yeah,
in
it's
a
going to
primary residence.
For both
purchase.
sides, right?
On both
Even
sides.
for the sellers, it was their primary residence,
yeah.
right?
And then managing expectations, I think, is important too, and trying to manage it sort of upfront. For example, I'll have a seller of a very high-end home, and they built the home, and I just recently had this experience in Pleasanton. They built a wonderful home 30 years ago, and it's
Okay.
never changed in 30 years. And they, brought artists in from France and artists in from Italy to create this masterpiece of a home. It's not anything today's buyer are looking for, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So to manage that with the seller is difficult, right? Because they have so much pride in their home, and they should, as they should. They did a fabulous job of building this wonderful home for their family. But it may not be what buyers are looking for today.
Yeah.
So that can be a challenge.
It can be challenged
Yes.
to both ways.
Can be challenged
Yes.
to both ways.
Yeah.
Things can change, right? Like perspectives change and
Yes.
Generation.
What's important, and you just mentioned
Yeah.
the kitchen. In this particular home, the kitchen was rather small for the size of the home. And so that was, that can
Yeah.
be negative for a buyer because
For a buyer,
we like a kitchen that's open and large, and that's where people hang out.
Yeah.
That's where family hangs
That's
out.
where time is. Since
that's where time is. And especially nowadays, you see big room, big center, like what do you call it? Bonus? No, not the bonus. Like a big. There's a word for it. I don't know. You probably know, Gina. There's like the big room or something.
Yeah. Not the kitchen, right? You're talking about just like a bigger family.
Yeah.
living
Yeah,
room
no,
and-
kitchen and the big family
Yes,
together.
together, yes.
So, like, in not all older homes have that.
idea.
That's right. They have a lot of separation in
Yeah.
older homes. Yes. And today they really want that openness and to be together as family
As family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of a lot of expertise is needed, which I think comes with experience and knowing, understanding people also, right? I think a lot of sensitivity is also needed for running any business which
Yes.
has all these, different dimensions to it, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember, Gina, any challenge? I know you talked about, you were, you had a different field, your major was different, but then you kind of got interested in that and you did great in that. But do you remember any major challenges that you faced and you came out of it? And
In
how-
real estate.
In real estate, yeah.
Yes.
I would say probably that first year was a major challenge. In the first few years, really,
Okay.
because I was trying to prove myself. I was trying to build a reputation, build a business, get people to trust me.
Yeah.
I call it no love and trust.
Yeah.
But get people to get to that point when I was so young in the business. So I would say that was a challenge. Balance is always a challenge. So I say that I did this radical sabbatical, and I say that I've done tried to take these steps to have more balance in my business. But if you ask me, Gina, are you fully balanced in your business? No, I can't say that I am. It's literally an ongoing challenge.
Yeah.
Do I work evenings? Yes. Of course I do, when it's necessary and a buyer is writing an offer or an offer comes in and I'm presenting it to a seller. Sometimes that's necessary. I think friends and family get frustrated with me because I'll be on vacation and I'm still working. And the challenge there is that if you hire me to do a job for you, and that is only a 30 or 60 day period of time, probably before we work together, you would say, oh, Gina, you should have boundaries and you shouldn't, when you go on vacation, you should really take time off and go on vacation until you're actually in transaction with me. And then this is a massive deal for you, right? This is so important. You can't just have your realtor who you've picked because you know and trust them so much take off for 2 weeks, right? That's 2 weeks out of maybe 30 or 60 days. That's a
Yeah.
significant amount of
Big
time.
ratio, yeah.
Big ratio. So I respect that. And for that reason, I'm typically still working while I'm away and trying to enjoy myself on vacation, but also working because I still want to be there for my clients. They hired me. They hired me to do a job, and I want to do that for them.
Okay.
So balance, that's a challenge. And balance is
Yeah, because typically an offer can come anytime, right?
Anytime.
It
That's
could
right.
be,
Yes.
it's an emotional topic, so people feel like, okay, this is the house I want.
Yes.
So,
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, well,
Exactly.
that's wonderful. That's a lot of experience and a lot of insight that you share, Gina, and I think that will help anyone who like to buy, invest, or sell those kind of things, right? So, thank you so much, Gina, for coming out today
Thank
and
you.
sharing your experience, your insight
My
with me
pleasure.
and
Yes.
the audience.
of course.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure.
If you wanna talk about anything at all, then you know who to call. Just tell Sanjana. Tell Sanjana. Tell Sanjana. Tell Sanjana. Just tell Sanjana.